Greetings, Insidious Nebula here. I wanted to say a few things before I started the video. If you have not noticed, my audio is now much better. I recently bought a Blue Yeti in order to increase my production value. I hope this helps with my future narrations. Also, a quick disclaimer. The following narration was recorded with my old microphone, so the audio is not the best, but I had already recorded the entirety and I didn't want to lose all that work. But from now on, the new mic is going to be the default. The following story comes from Javier Lustinal on Reddit, and I'm so honored to be able to bring it to you guys in voice. Make sure you check out the link in the description so you can check out Javier's collection of scary stories. Now, let's get on to the story. A lot of you might wonder how us butchers stay in business when supermarkets can undercut our prices with cheap steaks and vacuum-sealed boneless, skinless chicken breasts. The supermarkets do take a big bite out of our business, but we survive by selling the things they do not. Oxtails, chicken feet, lamb brains, large and small intestine, tongues, kidneys, testicles, all that stuff those people eat. Alternatively, you have seen Andrew Zimmern or Anthony Bourdain eat this stuff on TV, while you thought, oh my god, that is so gross. That just means you're not drunk or hungry enough. It is not gross, it is tradition, and the other people are expected to leave it all behind as part of integrating into a culture of chicken nuggets and Hot Pockets. Then, there is blood. We do not even keep it at the butcher shop because regulations around it are so tight. The shops usually send a newbie like me to pick it up straight from the slaughterhouse or farm, and then we drive for hours making blood deliveries. This blood goes into soups and porridges, into pancakes and dumplings, but most importantly, it goes into sausages from every culture. While this is not exactly legal, neither are some of our customers, so everybody keeps quiet. I've only been a butcher for 4 months, but I have a valid driver's license and I can say hello in a few languages, so I was promoted to this delivery job. I get to work alone all night and nobody cares if I'm a little high or taking something to stay up. The tips are fantastic. Even after giving most of the money to the owner, he will hand me back $100 in cash, on top of whatever I just pocketed and did not tell him about. He knows that I am stealing, but he likes that I'm stealing a lot less than the last guy. I always work my way into town overnight, as farms and fields turn into shops and suburbs and eventually apartment complexes. I love driving at this time. There is no traffic, and when you do see a car, it really has your full attention, like the occasional lift with its purple dashboard sign and backseat full of rowdy college kids. Sometimes I will see a drunk driver swerving in between lanes, but usually all I see are the cop cars and ambulances that deal with them. I visit restaurants, corner stores, and a few homes, but my interactions are minimal, and some places have a system where I can just drop the product off and pick up some cash. Usually my last stop is an old rundown house in a heavily Eastern European neighborhood. The instructions are simple, but sketchier than any other place I deliver to. I have a key to unlock the cellar door. I go down the stairs with a flashlight and open a refrigerator that is attached to a long orange extension cord. Inside the fridge, there is an envelope of cash, which I exchange for a couple of jugs of blood. This stop has special meaning to the owner of the butcher store. He has given me instructions to never try to talk to the old woman who owns the house, as she does not even know English. So don't smoke, don't snoop, and don't try to wake her up. It's fine. I do not always have to know how the sausage is made, so long as I keep getting paid. That is actually how things went wrong. I showed up the other night and there was no cash in the fridge. Now the boss told me that I always have to drop the blood off, that this is a delivery I absolutely can't miss. But he did not say shit about not being paid. This old lady overpays for the blood, or tips heavily, however you want to say it. She makes it worth our while to do these deliveries in the first place. Otherwise, we would probably just deliver to a couple of restaurants and shops and ignore all the small buyers. So after leaving the boss several increasingly aggravated voice messages, I finally said fuck it and started to snoop around. The cellar was almost entirely bare except for a possibly broken washer and dryer and a large laundry sink with bloody handprints along the sides. I made my way up the steps and into the first floor, and there I saw a scrawny old woman who looked like she'd been dead for a while. She was pale, shriveled, and could easily be confused for a skeleton. Still, for some reason, I decided to get close and check for a pulse, touching my middle and index finger to her neck. Then, there was a blur, and she closed on me like a trap. She sunk her teeth into my arm and was holding each of my wrists with one bony hand. I wanted to break free, as I could feel a strange burning sensation on my arm, but she was just way too strong. It was as though I was shackled and needed bolt cutters to get free. I was not able to break away until she let go, licking blood off her lips and making a strange gurgling noise. I tried to run, but I felt lightheaded and fell to one knee. I was scanning my surroundings for something I could use to defend myself, but the room was bare, so instead I turned around, shining the flashlight from my phone into her eyes. She covered them with her hand and started to speak a foreign language. Could not understand what she said, and a little bloody foam formed at her lips as she tried to talk. All this while the color was returning to her cheeks and arms.
"I am sorry,"
she said in a thickly accented voice.
"Please, I have cash. I want to thank you. You saved my life."
As soon as I heard her speak in English, she was no longer a threat to me, no longer a wild animal or monster. I instantly felt sorry for her and I wanted to help her. This despite the fact that my arm hurt a little, but also felt extremely numb, with 2 rows of punctures covered in blood and some sort of thick mucus.
"Here,"
she said, handing me a dish rag, which I pressed onto my arm. I braced for the pain, but there was hardly any. Very quickly, our altercation started to feel like a distant memory of an awkward accident. It was like she spilled coffee on me years ago, but now we are friends, something minor like that.
"Sit down. We must speak,"
she said to me. I slumped into a chair in her kitchen as she proceeded to light a couple of oil lamps, and for some reason all 4 burners on the stove. In the warm glow, her wrinkles seemed to melt away into the visage of an attractive, middle-aged woman with jet black hair, separated by a few strands of silver. A loose-fitting blue nightshirt hung over her slender frame, and while my gaze was drawn to the dark stains around the collar and front, I also knew it would be rude to stare, so I tried to keep eye contact. Can't quite describe her eyes, since they seemed to perfectly reflect all the glowing flames in the room, as though they were 2 more sources of light and heat themselves.
"Please, you must not tell the butcher about what happened,"
she implored.
"We all have a good arrangement. We are happy. I do not know what I would do without your deliveries. I will go to the safe and grab $500, and this is just for you, for being so brave and coming to my rescue. Do not share this money. Do not tell anyone how you got it. Just reward yourself."
She got up and ascended the stairs, making no sound at all. In the meantime, I looked at my phone, and even though there is never anything new at 4 a.m., I refreshed Reddit, scrolled through Facebook, and checked my visual voicemail to see if the boss ever got my messages. When I looked up from my phone, the woman was inches away from my face holding the money. I jumped a little and let out a yelp that quickly turned into a laugh.
"No need to be nervous," she said. "Also, there's no need to see a doctor. Just rub some alcohol on your arm. Mouths are full of bacteria. I'm so sorry about how I acted, but I was a little startled, and sometimes it is all a woman can do to defend herself."
She made a strange noise, kind of like a hiccup, and a little blood came up with it. She took the dish towel from me and used it to wipe her mouth.
"You can leave now. The sooner you take care of your arm, the better, and I need to lie down too."
I got up feeling a little lightheaded, thanked her for the cash, and made my way down into the cellar and back up the other set of stairs that led me to my van. I'm not sure why I did not use the front door, but that thought did not occur to me until I had made it back to the butcher shop and I was switching the delivery van for my car. When I got home, I chugged some orange juice from the carton and face-planted on my mattress on my bedroom floor. Sometimes I need to play video games or browse the web for a few hours before I can really unwind, but I was exhausted. When I woke up, it was still dark, but upon inspecting my nearly dead phone, I noticed I had 3 missed calls from my boss. This made me realize that it was actually the following night. I had passed out hard and just slept in one solid chunk without using the bathroom or anything. Checking my visual voicemail, I could see that my boss was angry when he woke up. When he got to work and found the van and the money, he'd assumed I made the right choices and everything had worked out. I pulled the $500 from my pocket, crisp and new despite one bloody thumbprint, and told myself that in fact I had made all the right choices after all. I felt invigorated, rested, and excited for tonight's deliveries. My arm was caked in blood and something yellow, but after showering I could tell the damage was not bad at all, just some punctures. I rubbed it with alcohol and it certainly hurt less than all those times I nicked myself with a knife while learning how to butcher a carcass. I swear making deliveries saved me from being one of those guys who's missing a fingertip or two. For good measure, I popped a couple of ibuprofen and washed them down with another long swig of orange juice from the carton. After I made my trip to the slaughterhouse and started driving into town in the delivery van, all I could think is that sleeping uninterrupted for 12 hours had done wonders for me. I was finally caught up, feeling alert and optimistic as I drove and banged my head to a streaming heavy metal mix. Everyone seemed to be driving way too cautiously despite a light drizzle, so that pushed my whole delivery schedule back. It is not that I was in a rush to get here, but during the drive, I had started thinking. I'd focused heavily on the money and her kind voice, but along the edges I could start to see other details. Her grip, the bite, and the way her house seemed to be completely dark and completely empty. I rushed down into the cellar, jumped the last few steps, and opened the fridge. I've never gotten particularly excited over cash, but the fact that cash was coming from her made it a little different. I picked up the envelope, but this time there was no money, just a handwritten letter. I brought it up the stairs to the kitchen table and used my cell phone flashlight to read it in the silent house. I do not know how to begin, so I will just skip to the point. We had an encounter last night that is unlike any encounter you've ever had. I feel confident saying that. We all have our own interests, and it would be easy to not ask questions or think too hard about things, but that encounter changed me. For years I've been living off pig's blood, despite the fact that my body rejects it. Maybe I choose it because my body rejects it. I have grown weak and docile. My mind grew dull and thoughtless. I would lie awake for a few hours clutching at the pain as the blood tried to fight its way back up, and then I would drift in and out of sleep for the other 20 or so hours. Days felt long, but years were short. Then your blood truly woke me up, and I could not go back to the pig's blood again after that. Still, your blood and theirs has a lot in common. This is not an insult, it's just that your blood is full of memories of every disease you have had and every impurity you have put in your body. I've tasted these bad memories for years, but I think people recently started calling them antibodies. They fight me and I fight them, and it is hard to keep the blood down. But despite the discomfort, at least your blood reminded me of what I really wanted. I wanted the blood of the youngest among us, so pure and unencumbered by experiences. Would it make sense to refer to their blood as innocent? In addition, they never survive the bite. They never get the disease. I need you to understand that I'm just a person like you, but I am sick. Diseases do not care about the host. They will make us sweat and suffer, and they will break down our bodies and minds and eventually kill us so long as the disease can thrive. I hope you do not get it, because it only brings suffering and death, be it a few months from now or 100 years from now. You start to forget basic details about your life, and all of your passions fade away. This might just be true about all of us, though. However, every piece of yourself that you lose is replaced by instincts, and you become a better and better hunter till you are caught and are hacked to pieces or get dragged kicking and screaming into the light. Now I have a choice to make, and it is a choice I cannot make with any honesty until desperation kicks in a few hours from now. I have dumped out the pig's blood to make sure I do not cheat in making this choice. Either it will still be dark and I will become a hunter again, or it will be light and I will move towards it. Either way, I have left you the combination of my safe, 1919. You can keep pretending to make deliveries, or you can take everything in there and go far, far away. What matters is that I will no longer be here, and neither should you. I do not know how to end this letter. I've grown too reliant upon desperation making choices for me. But I hope you stay well. Raisa. It was a lot to take in. I kind of sat there dumbfounded in the kitchen as I tried to decide what to make of it all. I climbed up the squeaky stairs, and after exploring a few empty rooms, I discovered the master bedroom. It was almost entirely bare, except for a few piles of dirty clothing, a filthy stained mattress, and a safe in one corner. I tried the combination, panicked at first thinking it would not work, but it turns out the handle just needed a really strong push to turn it. Inside, I found lots of neat stacks of bills and tangles of necklaces, bracelets, and earrings. I was not going to leave it behind, but it also felt like it was not the time to count it. This room repulsed me as much as it made me profoundly sad, so I bundled the safe's contents using a stained towel and made my way back downstairs. This is when I realized all the doors and windows were boarded, so I'd have to leave through the cellar again. Upon opening the cellar door, I finally became aware of how much time had passed. The morning sun was shining super bright, and I could hear sprinklers and lawnmowers. I squinted and looked around, still adapting to the morning light. Specifically, I looked for broken windows or other signs of a break-in, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I was startled to hear footsteps coming towards me, but it was a woman jogging in obnoxiously bright neon athletic wear. By the time I drove back to the butcher store, they were open, but I pretended they were closed and just dropped off the van with the usual amount of money in the glove compartment. Now, I'm at home writing all this down, hoping it will put me to sleep, because I feel too angry or sad or scared to just doze off. My eyes keep darting back and forth between my laptop and the stained, bundled up towel, and I have no idea what I'm going to do when I wake up tonight. Whatever happens, though, I hope I'm done with pig's blood.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I cannot wait for you guys to hear a new narration with this microphone. Like I said, my previous upload, new videos will be coming out every Sunday, with a possibility of uploads in the week too. I'm now at 50 subscribers and just wanted to thank you all once again for all the support. Don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend or friends, and subscribe if you have yet to. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed this stretch through the darkness.